Welcome everybody back to Bev's Kitchen. And tonight we're just going to do a real quick recipe and cooking lesson for tacos. Very simple, and we're going to make our own taco shells. Woohoo! Isn't that amazing? Because a lot of people go and buy them, and we don't know what that is around here. So what we did first, we cut up, to get started, we cut up 3 avocados. You cut them in half, you peel them, you put them in, and you mash them up. I use this as my seasoning. Got it? And then, after you mash up the avocados, you cut them up and then you mash them up with your seasoning. Then, add 2 tablespoons of this salsa. And this is what I used. However, you can use any brand you want or any flavor of salsa you want. It to be a little different if you do that. So I used this Paul Newman's mango salsa, which was rather tasty. And this is what we got. Now, you just take your chip that I'm going to show you how to make, and you just dip it in there, and you got some chips and salsa. Yum, yum. Okay, so let's move forward, and I'm going to show you real quick how to make them. So easy. Okay, get the corn tortillas. You can use flour, but I like the corn better. Corn tortillas. I use the white corn, and you just, you cut them in half. Oh, that salsa is so yummy. That is so good. Okay, then you cut these 3, okay? So, now you've got little triangles, and you just put them in here, and what you do, you get your pan, usually a 4-quart, 6-quart pan, and you put some oil in it, grease or oil. I use Crisco right here. This is what I use. I use Crisco, the best. All right. So now we're going to take these chips, the tortillas, and we're going to put them in the hot. You have to make sure your grease is hot, or it will not be any good. Okay? And you put so many in there, so it's covering them, because you don't want to put too many that you can't cover. Okay? And you keep it about 6 on electric stove, and you get that boiling, and they're just going to boil up and be real yummy here in a minute. Okay, so as we're waiting for that, I'm going to show you the cheese, okay? You want your cheese prepared. So, I told you could buy some grated cheese if you'd like. We prefer to do our own. So, you get your processor, get your cheese in there, and then it's going to be loud. Here we go. Easy peasy, right? So you have your cheese, and this is what you end up with. Yum, yum. Fresh grated cheese. All right, so we're going to move that back over here. We're going to get ready to make some enchiladas and tacos with some homemade chips and salsa. All right. Now, right here, I'm going to add, this is the sauce for the enchiladas. Now, what we did first, before I got started here, I went ahead and ground the meat. You take your hamburger meat, about 2 pounds, and you ground it up, and you brown it. And then you can use salt and pepper or Pappy's, or if you want to add onion, you can. Tonight, I did not add any onion. Can you believe it? I know, I can't either. I think I forgot. But anyway, you can add onion to it if you want to, and it just adds up the flavor. So, we've got our enchilada sauce already started while the chips are getting ready. And they won't be long before they're ready. It takes a few minutes. So what you want to do for enchilada sauce, you can buy the can, Or you can get this, which is McCormick enchilada sauce. I've used it for years. Years and years and years. We just won't say how many. And then you need a can of tomato sauce. Now, if you use the whole can, the full can, all 15 ounces, you need 2 packages. 2 packages. And if you're doing more than about 6 or 8 enchiladas, you really need probably 2 packages. And then you'd want to use the whole thing. All right, now, while we're getting this ready, we have the hamburger meat back here. And before we turn it into the taco meat, we're going to prepare the enchiladas. Okay, so I need to add about a 1/2 cup of water. And we need to get this brewing a little more. Turn the fire up just a hair, because I turned it down so we could show you how to do this. And keeping an eye on the tortilla chips, because you don't want them to burn. They're no fun when they're really dark. Some of my kids like them really dark. Myself, I don't. So, here you go. See how they're, while this is warming up and getting thick, here's your tortilla chips. You need to stir them around so they don't just get brown on one side. You want to stir them up so they get brown and toasty on both sides. It's not hard. And you need a spoon or a flipper of some sort like this that you can use that the grease doesn't get trapped in. It works a lot better. And make sure it's metal. Okay, look at the color of these. See the color of these? See how golden brown they are? Yum. They are ready to be pulled out. So what we're going to do, get our pan. What you want to do is get another pan, put some paper towels in there to absorb the extra grease, okay? And then, excuse me, my allergies have kicked in today. We were out running around in some trees today, and I think my allergies got all messed up. So here we go. And they're golden brown. Some a little darker than I like, but they're okay. All right. And the bottom one is always the last one. It's always a little darker. So we'll turn that off. We'll push that off to the side. And then do that. And then you get your salt. And just shake a little salt in there. And then you want to get the grease off by just moving it around a little bit in there. And then this is what you end up with. A yummy bowl of chips that you can eat your guacamole with. Or any other salsa that you want. All right. So as that is going there, what we're going to do, I'm going to bring the meat forward. And we're going to put the meat over here. And like I said, I did not put the taco seasoning in it yet because we're waiting for this. And this is just about done. Are you excited? I am. Haven't made enchiladas in a long time. So yum, yum. Okay. We're going to move things around a little bit. Okay, I'm going to roll one up. I'm going to roll 3 or 4 of them up, actually. I got to get my tortillas. I've left them over here on the wrong side of the kitchen. All right, here we go. Now, myself, I don't like a lot of sauce. I like them saucy, but I don't like a lot of sauce. So this is how I do it. And remember, you wash your hands before you start dealing with your food. And we did that already. And so, okay, the sauce is ready. It's all just barely boiling. You don't want it to boil too much. Just a little. As it gets a little thicker. Okay, we're going to set that aside. Now, this is how I do. What I do, I dip them, just barely like that. Then I lay them down. You get a thing of meat. Throw the meat in the middle. Get your cheese. I love cheese in my enchiladas, don't you? And then you just roll them up, like so. You just roll them up, and right there. Okay, so we're gonna do a few of those real quick, and then we're gonna move over to the taco meat. So, see, I don't put a lot of sauce in them. And then when we're ready to do the top, I don't add, depending on how much meat you want in your enchilada. Okay? So we want to add your cheese, and you want to fold it over. I'm doing this backwards because my video guide just moved on me. So there we go. So you got 2 of those. So see how it's boiling? So we want to stir it up a little bit. Keep it fresh there. Don't let it get sticky on the bottom. And there we go. Now, I'm going to do it this way so I can... You can put your cheese in first. You can put your cheese in second. It really doesn't matter. Either way you want to go. And you put your meat in there. And then, oh, what I'm using is flour tortillas. I'm not using the corn tortillas. So I just did a small bowl, so we have 4 I'm going to be able to fit in here. Usually when you're doing, you know, a bunch, you're going to use a little bit more, but this is just to show you. So if you want more enchiladas, or if you want just tacos, we'll do the tacos next, and then you'll have them both. Okay, so we're going to roll backwards again. Okay, there we go. Now, what I do, like I said, I love cheese. Cheese makes everything better when it comes to tacos and enchiladas. So you just cover the top. Doesn't that look good? Okay, we're going to move this over here. Now, what we have is the leftover sauce, and this is to your discretion, okay? I'm going to show you what I normally use. I don't use a lot because, well, I told you, I'm not a real saucy girl. But that sounded funny, huh? Okay. So, here we go. And then you just put these over, put the sauce over the top. Trying not to get my saucy hands all over the stuff. Now remember, by doing it like this, you have sauce inside already getting your meat saucy, so you don't have to worry about the top too much. It just gets all yummy all over the place. Now, okay, so you basically cover the top. Okay, now we are going to put this, in the oven at 350 for just as long as it takes for it to get all melted and yummy and warm inside. Okay, so let's put this in the oven. There you go. In about 15 minutes, you pull it out and it's all melted and all the sauce is right there for you. And you don't have to do anything else. Now let's move on to the tacos real quick, okay? Let's do this. Tacos. Are we going to switch sides again? All right, let me wash my hands. All right. I have my tea setting aside here. Actually, I need to put the sugar in it real quick. Well, hang on a minute. Let me get some sugar and put in my tea while it's warm. Now, if you're wanting to make sweet tea, you want to make sure and put your sugar in while it is warm. Then the sugar will dissolve And you want to put that all in there. See? You don't want any lumps or your sugar not to be dissolved in your tea. That's what makes it so good. And plus, when you're, so that'll be ready for water in a little bit. The reason that, what you do, you get your tea bags and you boil them in water, but you just bring the water, you just bring your tea to the boil, turn it off, move it off, and I cover it with a paper plate and let it simmer, or you can cover it with a lid and let it simmer for 15-20 minutes before you pour it into your jugs. That's the best way to do it. Okay, so we've got our meat getting warm here, and we're going to take the taco seasoning, which I'll show you what I'm using. We're going to use probably about 4 tablespoons. 4 or 5. If you've got 2 pounds of meat, you're going to want to use a little bit more. Like I said, this is what I've used for years. And McCormick, good stuff. And so I've always liked their seasoning. Now, what you do, you take, and you can get the directions on the back here. It's really simple. So you take your seasoning after your meat is brown. You brown your meat, drain the grease, and then you put your seasoning in there. And we'll probably need another little bit more water. It's about a cup of water. And then you let this cook like this. Okay? And I use a little bit more seasoning because I buy it in bulk. I buy it in the bulk, big jug, here. So I usually use a little bit more seasoning because of the flavor. So I use tonight, and this is about, probably about a pound left of meat, give or take. And I used, I think, 5 tablespoons of the sauce, of the seasoning mix. Now, as you do this, you want to bring up the water enough you want the water to be standing in it, and let it cook and simmer for about 15-20 minutes. And then you're ready to serve your tacos. And while that is cooking, I'm going to show you real quick on how to fry up a tortilla. It is so simple. And we're going to do it on this one. And then we're going to be ready to eat some tacos. Okay, you can take the grease that you used earlier out of your tortilla bowl or pan. Okay, you just don't need a whole lot. And while this is warming up over here, we're just going to go ahead and get started with making a few tortillas. And they are simple to do. All right. So you've got your meat, you've got your chips, you've got your guacamole done. You're ready, almost ready to eat. So it doesn't take long to cook these. While this is cooking over here, let's see, might need a little bit more water. Okay. Can you show them a little bit of it, how it's really moisty in here? See how it's kind of standing in water there? That's kind of how you want it. Now, I usually use my fry pan, but I was doing the enchiladas and tacos together, so I changed over. So now we're just gonna let this boil up. Once it boils, the seasoning thickens up, and then the flavors get in there, and that makes it yummy. Okay, here we go. The grease is gonna get hot, and we're gonna show you how to fry up a tortilla, and then you're ready to eat. The oven is hot, the enchiladas are cooking, and it doesn't take them very long to be done either. So by the time you're ready to eat, everything's ready. Isn't this easy so far? I know. You've got your cheese, you've got everything ready to go, and then as soon as this is hot, you're ready to start your tortillas and make your taco shells, and you're gonna eat. All right, let's get a little paper towel. Let me be right back. I'm gonna get a plate. And you can use a paper plate. I usually use a paper plate for these things. I'm gonna move my chips over, my cheese right there. Okay, I usually use a paper plate. And, okay, the grease is hot. Pan is hot, grease is hot. Okay, so what we do, you do that. You let it boil up a little bit. It's not as hot as it probably should be. Let me get a fork. Can't believe I forgot a fork. Okay, so this is gonna cook up. See? Just let it fry up a little bit. There we go. It's getting there. If you like it crunchy, we'll do a soft one and then we'll do a crunchy one. How's that sound? Okay. Some people like them soft. And then you can always use if you don't like the corn, you can always use a flour. And you can even fry up the flour tortilla if you want to. And I do those too, and they turn out really good. My husband likes the flour and the corn, but he prefers the flour tortillas on his tacos. So that's what I do. I make them both. It's not hard. All right. See how the meat is coming along? See how that is? It's just about ready. Actually, it is ready. So we can turn that down on low and let that simmer. And then we're going to come over here and flip this tortilla. It's going to cook. And that's going to be good, good, good. Okay. See how easy that was? That's so easy. And then you just dab it, get the grease off of it. It's real simple. And what I like to do, folks, I like to go ahead, sorry, should have kept this over here. I like to go ahead and add the cheese in there. So when you're ready to put your meat in there, it's already melted. So let's go ahead and do another quick one here. And then I'm going to show you the taco. Okay, the meat's done. So you take your taco shell. You've already got your cheese in there. And you put your meat in there. And I always throw a little more cheese on top. Why? Because it's always better with cheese. Now, you can put your lettuce, tomato, whatever else you want on there, and guacamole or salsa or whatever else you want to put on top of it. And then you're ready to go. All right, so that was easy, wasn't it? Okay, so let's do this one crunchy. I'll show you the crunchy one. Now, and then we'll do one of these. A one flour tortilla, and I will show you how that's done. It's basically the same thing. Okay, and see, it gets a little harder to turn and stuff, but it's crunchy, and you just have to kind of force it over and let it kind of keep it closed. Turn it over. We're going to turn the heat down just a little bit. So this is so easy, isn't it? And it's so much better than those store-bought tortillas. The ones that you buy in the box. I don't know about those. Okay, now it's all crunchy. Here we go. Same thing. Let's move this back over here. Let's dab the grease off. And if you want to use olive oil or something else like that, you can also do that. You don't have to use the Crisco. Okay, so there's the cheese. And we're just going to set that off to the side. Now let's do one of these. Now this is kind of a smaller pan. It's going to be kind of a little difficult to get it all in there, but we're gonna get it in there. Hopefully I don't start a fire. spilt a little grease. Don't want to do that. Okay, so you just do that. You get it warm. It likes to bubble up. Okay, so I'm going to have to use a spatula to make this little puppy work with me, but we're going to get her to work. Okay, so see how it bubbles? See a little bubble? Just poke a hole in it, and it'll stay down. Flip it over, and voila, you're done. One more time. There you go. And you can leave it in there a little longer if you want to, if you want it a little darker. So let's set the grease over there to the side. Let's turn the stove off, and there you go. Now you've got your flour tortilla. And again, you just put the cheese in there. Now this is a little bigger, so you can put a little bit more in it. Maybe that's why my husband likes it. So, okay, so now you've got your flour, your corn, your meat's done, ready to serve your meat. I'll show you the meat, see? It's all seasoned up. Okay, so you've got your meat, you've got your tortillas, you've got your chips, you've got your salsa, and you're ready to eat. Now, if you want more like refried beans or anything like that, you can always do those. If you just want tacos and enchiladas, we've got you going. All right, have a good night. This is Bev, and thanks for dropping in on Bev's Kitchen.